Bet one, bet them all. This is Sprawl and Call, and we're going to do predictions of Condict Alves UFC Fight Night 67 underway. Uh, if anything, we're going to kick things off with the main card, main event. We're going to switch things up a little bit with, we got Carlos Condict versus Thiago Alves. Now, this one's very interesting. You got Condict opening up at, currently sitting at a minus 265. With Alves being a plus 200. Well, it's been a year layoff with Condict. His last loss was to Tyrone Woodley due to the knee injury. I actually think Woodley was getting the better of him in the beginning of that fight before that happened. Thiago Alves kind of made a little bit of a UFC run. If you look on certain things, there's a big gap between 2012 and 2014. Well, it wasn't much of a gap for me because I watched all of his fights, which were, I believe, World Series of Fighting, where he just pretty much, took over. But the one thing that scares me is Condict's knee injury and the late, not fighting in a year. One thing you might not know, this is also his first fight in Brazil. And Alves' first fight in Brazil as well. That makes it a little interesting. How is he going to do with the layoff and the layover from the flight? I actually do consider those two things pretty immense in my decision, and I am officially picking Thiago Alves for the win. Next, we got Nick Lentz and Charles Oliveira. Please don't get confused. There is 3 different frickin' Oliveiras on this main card. Weird, but we're in Brazil. What do you expect? Oliveira sitting at a minus 265 currently. Betting line just around Condict, with Nick Lentz coming at a plus 205. Nick Lentz, this guy, man, I can't really consider him a gatekeeper, but he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. You're not going to get an easy win over Nick Lentz. I don't care who you are. Chad Mendes couldn't even achieve that. It took him 3 rounds to get the decision. It was pretty clear cut. But, hey, Mendes couldn't even finish him. Oliveira, this guy, he's been around in the UFC for a while now. He's got, these guys actually already fought in 2011. And it was ruled a no contest due to an illegal knee done by Oliveira, which he was winning the fight, and, Lentz was getting up, and he threw the knee. It was a rookie mistake. But this guy's been clearing out the division. Unfortunately, there's no clear path to victory for Lentz. All of his wins are decisions come of the last few years. And however, there is a lot of ways to see the win for Oliveira. The only thing that scares me is Oliveira's going to get taken down. I more than likely see. And maybe even sometimes Oliveira's just going to pull the guard. The guy is awesome off his back. And I really see more tools for the finishing aspect of this fighter. It's going to be a hard one to pull off. Lentz hasn't been finished in quite a while. But I am officially picking Charles Oliveira for the win there. Next we have Alex Oliveira, Cowboy, not Cerrone, taking on KJ Nunes. KJ Nunes, this guy, he's kind of getting past his, he is past his prime. His last notable win was Sam Stout in this, first round knockout over that. And then he had a fight with Darren Cruikshank. which I kind of believe Darren was making a comeback, and then there was an eye poke. But I think I remember Nunes winning that first round against Cruikshank. Here's the thing. Alex Oliveira, he was coming in on short notice last time, fighting on Gilbert Burns, who was a pretty hefty favorite. About minus 300, I believe. He actually was winning the fight, would have had the big upset, and Burns submitted him in the third round, which I do remember capitalizing on because I did do an in-the-distance play with Gilbert Burns, and I was like, awesome. But Oliveira was winning that fight. That was pretty clear. Stand-up fighter, kickboxer of what it seems to me. Even though he's from Brazil, you wouldn't expect that as his majority set of skills. The thing that comes into play, I just think Nunes is a little past his prime. If he tries to stand up, I think he's just going to get totally outstruck. The only way that I could see him winning is, if maybe he utilizes a little bit of the ground game. But we haven't seen that as of late with Nunes at all. He completely stood up with Cruikshank, so I think he's willing to stand and trade. And Oliveira sitting at a minus 135 currently. I do see a little bit of value on that. Yeah, I really do. And I'm choosing him for the win. Next we got Ryan Jimmo versus Franamar Barrasso. I don't know. Jimmo's sitting at a minus 275. The guy is a veteran. Barrasso, he does have a split decision to Hans Stringer, which I do think that guy's going to end up being a force to be reckoned with a little bit. A lot of people just don't realize. Kind of looks like Josh Barnett, but he's European. Kind of the same skill set fighter in a way, too. A little bit. I don't like the betting line, but I do think Jimmo's experience is going to pull this one off. Then we got Norman Park and Francisco Trinaldo. Sometimes I get confused because there's another Trinaldo over in Bellator, but that's not the case. Trinaldo, this guy, he's been around for a while. He's been pretty big for the weight division. He's had most of his success bullying and throwing people around. Norman Park is coming off a loss against Gleason Tebow, and also similar fighter. Compared to Trinaldo, just with less power and a little bit of the judo aspect. It's going to be interesting. Park lost a split decision last fight. I didn't see it that way. I thought it was pretty clear. 29-28, possibly even 30-27 going to Tebow. But Park has the cardio, and we know Trinaldo's weakness is cardio. I don't see him finishing Park, and because I can't see him finishing Park in the first two rounds, I will have to go with Trinaldo's probably going to win round one, and Park's going to keep the pressure on rounds 2 and 3 to take a pretty clear unanimous decision. So Norman Park for the win there, and then we have the opening of the main card with Wendell Oliveira, Darren Till. Till's debut. The guy's from Europe, but he fights in Brazil. So I don't know how that works out. Wendell Oliveira, he got knocked out in the first round last fight. This one's pretty even odds. Minus 125 for Oliveira, minus 105 for Till. I don't really have this one is a little bit of a question mark for it. I'm just gonna go with Wendell Oliveira with the previous Ultimate Fighter experience and the just power portion of him. The guy does pack a punch. So, Hey, thanks for watching, guys. Please let me know your thoughts, views, and opinions about any one of these fights. If you have any disagreements, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to check out my boy Eugene over at Inside the Cage. I'll post his video down in the comments section below when it comes up for this fight card. So, hey, until next time, thank you always. Don't blow your bankrolls and always have fun.